Hello everyone, it's me Sarah, welcome back to my channel. Today, the 2nd of August, the work begins again. Today I am going to be prepping my manuscript for Project Body Swap for beta revisions. I look like an absolute mess today, but it's very early in the morning and I'm very tired, so what are you going to do about it? I've recently, I say recently, less than a week ago, I finished the revisions for Project Faye Draft 2. Today, straight back onto the work, I now have to revise Project Body Swap for Draft 3. At the beginning of May, I sent it off to beta readers to get their opinions, etc. You know how beta reading works, right? And then out of the 12 people I sent it off to, I want to thank the 5 people who actually finished the entirety of the novel and gave me feedback. The feedback wasn't unexpected. A lot of it was to do with the characters and their motivations, which I sort of knew about anyway, so it wasn't a surprise. The surprise was that the pacing and the plot is actually okay. That was the surprise. So I think for the first time ever, I don't have to change the plot of the novel. I don't have to add things in or take massive chunks away or cut 100 pages off the ending and completely change it. I can just focus on correcting character issues and putting in more dialogue tags and action tags and inner thought, and adding pieces of information in earlier, making some information clearer, focusing a little bit more on my world building, because there's things that I've sort of talked about but not explained within the context of the world, which is, for me, they're easy fixes. So I'm really happy that it's not a massive amount of work I'm gonna have to do in regards to changing stuff. It's just going to be a massive amount of work I'm going to have to do adding stuff in, but it's stuff that needs to be added in and that I knew needed to be added in, but now I have places where I can add it in. So we're off to a fantastic start. I have it somewhere, the manuscript. I haven't opened it yet. The first thing I need to do actually is to clean my desk, because it's only a little bit messy. That's the part I work on when I do my revisions. My laptop is here in front of me and there's not enough space for my laptop and a manuscript, so I work on this half here with the manuscript spread out, but there's no room, so we're going to tidy my desk and then I'm going to get into how I do my beta revisions, because it's vastly different and a little bit more pedantic than my normal revisions are. Just a little bit. Okay, it's clear now. We can get to work. Right, so we are going to prep the novel. We're going to prep Project Body Swap. We're going to do this, prepping it for the manuscript, and we're prepping it for the beta revisions. And as I said, I get pedantic with it. You'll see just how pedantic I get with it when we get to that point. Project Body Swap. Oh, nice and neat. Ooh, and shiny letters. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, it's got a black binding as well. Oh well. So the first thing I do, I've only recently started doing this. I did it first with Project Faye, but it worked really well, so I'm going to continue doing it now. I am going to prep it first of all with post-it notes. I'm going to stick a post-it note on every single chapter so I can easily flip through the chapters if I need to. The second thing, I did it with Project Faye. It's going to be a lot difficult to do with Project Body Swap, is to stick a post-it note on day changes so I can keep track of the timeline. I don't think the timeline is that much of an issue with Project Body Swap. No one's mentioned it. While I'm going through the novel, if I notice a day change, I'll stick a post-it note there, but I'm not going to purposely go through and check it because it hasn't been an issue. I don't need to do that first. I don't need it in order to revise like I did with Project Faye. That is the first thing I'm going to do. I've still got baby crying. She's still not asleep. So we're going to do that. We'll start with that, and then we'll get on to the pedantic bit. It's coming, I promise. We're using these post-it notes today. I got them from my Paper Gang box for July, and they're really pretty. I'm going to use them. So we're going to... Okay, we are done with adding all of the post-its at the top of the manuscript. I knew some of these chapters were short. Didn't realise how short some of these chapters are. They're ridiculously short. Like, I know it's not a massive issue. Chapter length can be whatever you want it to be. But chapter 31 starts here. And it ends here, and here's chapter 32. Like, it's literally 2 pages long. I don't even know how. No, I know why. It's a multi-POV, so we have three POVs. We've got Noah, who's the main protagonist, Sephi and Tasha, and obviously the POV switches between the three. And so I suppose, yeah, that's why. Because you only need the POV for as long as you need their perspective, and sometimes that can be you need their perspective for a while, and sometimes you only need their perspective for like the tiniest little bit. So as we get closer and closer towards the climax and the third half of the book, the third act of the book, all of the POVs get progressively shorter and shorter. Not intentionally, but it'd be fun if it was intentional, because obviously the fact that all of these POVs are so fast like helps convey the speed and tension of the climax. Like, I wish I'd done it that way, but no, literally I just wrote it. We have prepped the beginning of the novel. It is half prepped, and now we're going to get to the fun part. I call it the fun part. I'm lying when I say it's the fun part. It's the pedantic part. You're finally going to see why I keep saying that. I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I started doing my beta revisions this way. This is just how it happened. So when I do my work, when I outline, when I do 60 scenes, I like to colour code. I like colour coding. I colour code scenes, I will colour code feedback and everything like that. So, because colour coding helps me get a general idea of my novel and what it contains and what it focuses on without having to dive into my novel. For example, this is a very old 60 scenes that I had for, oh my god, last year for Camp Nanaimo. This is Project Floral, which I've shelved. Oops. So as you can see, all the post-it notes are colour coded. So anything that is green has the main plot as a focus for the scene. Anything that is pink has a subplot as a focus for the scene. Anything that is yellow has character development as a main focus of the scene. Anything that is blue, which is just the one, has a main focus of information as the scene. So for revisions, we are going to do something similar. Here are printed off the comments I received. I have color coded the comments, the important comments, ones that I know that I need to focus on So I can immediately go through, and anything that is highlighted blue is a critique on character. Anything that is pink is a critique on world building. Everything that is purple is a critique on plot. And I've got another colour in here somewhere. It's green, which is a critique on pacing. It's not so much pacing of the novel itself, it's more pacing of the journey, the rise and fall of tension within the novel. So I've just put it under pacing because it's easier to do so. So yeah, that is how I know exactly where in this massive list is the critique that I need to focus on, that I want to focus on. So if I'm looking for a specific piece of critique, I just look for the highlights, and that's what I do. For Project Body Swap, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go through my manuscript with my comments for betas, which I've already gone through and gotten rid of all the ones that I don't care about or are not relevant, such as grammar or sentence structure. And I'm going to transfer those comments into my manuscript via highlight. I'm going to give it a number, and I'm going to write the critique in a notebook. So it sounds very, very weird. Okay, I don't know how I work this way. It saves me working off the screen while I'm going through my book. It's just easier for me. So then as I'm going through the manuscript, I can see a highlight. I can see what needs to change about that particular scene or moment regarding, depending on what it's color coded as. I can check the number, I can go into my notebook, find the relevant number, and it will tell me what needs changing. So I don't need to worry about having my laptop at all with me while I do this revision. I can simply do it focusing just on this and focusing on the notebook. I don't have a notebook. I do have a notebook. I put it away. I get notebooks every single month with Paper Gang, but I still had to buy myself a new notebook. It's so pretty. Right, so we're going to get started on these beta revisions while my children scream and shout in the next room, and I keep the little one awake. Right, let's begin. Oh my god, my tea. Oh my god, my tea. I don't know why, the cup's cold, it's cold, my tea's cold. I've failed my tea. Okay, so if we go onto the manuscript, we have a comment highlighted here. I do not think mere seconds is enough for a staring contest. This is defiance and feel we have not seen anything but I don't want to be here attitude. So whatever is highlighted here for the comment, I'm going to highlight it in my book. Right, so we want to find he engaged in a staring contest for mere seconds before dropping his gaze. So on my manuscript, he engaged in a staring contest for mere seconds before dropping his gaze. So this is going to be counted as character, which is blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight there. Lovely. And I'm going to put a little number 1 right next to it there. Okay. And over here, over here, I'm going to number 1 staring contest. More defiance. And I'm going to put inner thought here as well. Oh my god, my pen's running out. So as I'm going through the manuscript, I can see it's highlighted as per my beta comment. It needs to change number 1, so I go to number 1 in the book. Oh my gosh. And that is what I need to change about it without having to look again at my manuscript. Would it be easy to change everything on my manuscript on the screen? Probably, but I like reading it on paper and making changes here. It's less pressure. It feels like less pressure. So I'm going to do this for the entirety of the manuscript. Wish me luck. If I put my tea here, I will remember that it exists.
Booty shaking the mud, booty shaking the mud, booty shaking the mud, yes?
Yes, baby. Baby, yeah, baby.
Booty shaking the mud, booty shaking the mud, booty shaking the mud.
Okay, we're done. We're done. It only took me 4 hours. Somehow. It took me 4 hours, but we are done. We have finished inputting all of the comments that I care about from my beta comments into I'm looking in this direction, into my manuscript. We are done and dusted. While I was going through, I kept on thinking of things that I needed to change and needed to add in. And I was always very, very close to writing these down and like, oh, I need to make sure that I add this particular moment or this particular thought somewhere. And then I'm like, but no, I'm just trying to highlight all of the beta comments at the moment. I don't need to input my thoughts of what needs to change it. That comes next. That comes next when I go through the document properly and read it through and make all of the changes on the manuscript that I need to make. We honestly wasn't as many as I thought. We have a total of 108 comments from the betas in regards to critique that need changing. My hair messier now than it was earlier. I think it might be. It's summer holidays. This is Mum Sarah right now. This is Mum Sarah. It's what I look like on a daily basis. There's a lot of comments where it's sort of like introduce earlier, and I'm not going to know to introduce it earlier until I get to that point, and then I'm going to have to go back through the manuscript and find a decent place to introduce that particular point. Again, not a massive issue. It's probably something I'm already aware needs adding and might naturally just add it into a decent place as I go through the manuscript anyway. But, and then I don't care about the timeline. But we are comments done. I was very tempted to sort of highlight the numbers so I knew looking at this what I need to focus on, even though I know it's character and a little bit of word building. And we are done with the manuscript. It's woefully not as colourful as I wanted it to be so I could show you guys. But if I could try and flick through, there's some there. That's got quite a few. A couple there, some there, none there, none there. What's going on? I'm skipping them all. But you get the point, right? You get the point. Now I don't need to look at my manuscript on my screen anymore. I don't need to worry about it. So I can have Netflix or something or YouTube open up on my laptop now while I work, which I shouldn't do, but I'm going to. The child is still not sleeping while I work, and then I can just focus now on this manuscript. If I want to sit on the sofa and focus on a manuscript, I can do that. I don't need to bring my laptop with me. It is very pedantic, and I probably don't quite need to do it. That's just the way I like to do it. I'm also really upset with these post-it notes. I'm super disappointed with these. Not super disappointed. You'd think, looking at the post-it notes, right? You'd think that this would be the tabby end and this would be the sticky end, right? But no, this end, the uninteresting end, is the tabby end, and these interesting bits at the top are the sticky end, which I'm super upset about. I was hoping it'd be the other way around. So when I have my post-it notes, they're sticking out of my work like this. But they're not. They're now sticking out my work from the boring end. So they're cute. I'm very disappointed they're not tabbed and sticky the other way around. I don't know why I had to mention that. I just did. I'm going to give my little bunny a squeeze. So I am half done now with my revisions for Project Body Swap. Sarah from the editing seat here in her pyjamas with, yeah, please excuse me. I added a little bit more to my prep for this revision. I didn't plan to, I wasn't going to. The idea sort of just popped into my head to do so, mostly because a lot of the changes I need to make need to happen across the entirety of the manuscript in regards to character motivation and inner thought, etc, etc. So here we are, we have the chapter, we've got the little tab at the top. At the beginning of more or less every single chapter now is a post-it note, which tells me what I need to add within the chapter, not in regards to the specific comments on the manuscript, but in regards to the general beta comments and critique that I have. So, inner thought, intrigue for chapter 1, and yeah, I've put that now at the more or less the beginning of every single chapter, so I know what I need to include. Why did I do this? My next job is to read it now and add all of the comments that I want to add to it that I know need changing based on my beta feedback and my beta comments and critique, and then once that's done, obviously change it on the screen. I don't know whether I'm going to just change what needs changing or if I'm going to rewrite it and make all the changes as I go. We'll see how I feel. I'm kind of leaning towards rewriting the entire thing, not like that, having the old manuscript on one half and a blank manuscript, having the old manuscript on one half and a blank document on the other half, Scrivener, and then literally just word for word, unless I want to change how something is worded, make the changes, and then when I get to a point I need to change it. So that just helps a little bit with style or sentence structure, etc, etc. So sometimes I find it easier just to do that than go through and find the line I need to change and make the change. But again, it depends completely on how I feel. Let's put the lids back on these. I didn't run out either because I didn't have that many comments I needed to highlight. So that is me prepping, minus the timeline, my manuscript to complete my beta revisions. I said that word so weirdly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you prep your manuscript for revisions, or how do you go about your revisions? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in my next video, hopefully looking a little bit more put together. Good thoughts and happy writing.